Keith, aside from doing press where you answer the same questions over and over and over and over again, how's your day going so far?
It's good. Let me get that pipe out of my shot here. Hold on. There we
No,
go.
it adds character. You have a working space that's clearly lived in.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So where are you calling home these days? I ask that because I know you have the West Virginia roots, but you've seen the world just a few times. And so usually after you make it in hard rock, you move to either Nashville or Vegas.
Yeah, I'm in East Tennessee. It's a nice quiet little town, a little bit outside of Knoxville. And
Murfreesboro,
No, the other way.
the other
Yeah,
way.
I the only time I ever come into Nashville is for just music stuff, and a lot of people move there and live there. A lot of my friends, a few bandmates from different bands, and
For
but no,
sure.
I'm kind of away. I'm out of all that, but close enough so that I can drive in and do what I need to do.
Makes sense. Well, I have a lot of compliments for you. Are you ready for them or are you maxed out already in this press
I
day?
don't know, man. I'll try to just maybe we should save this for whenever I'm like super depressed.
Which never happens. I mean, it's always happy music from Keith. It's the happiest music ever, and we know that. That's what we expect. The sunshine comes out just like on Infinity Now. But anyway, you've this is now your third solo album beyond some singles that you've done while touring and recording with Breaking Benjamin, while having cuts on a lot of people's records over the past decade or so. So, are you literally writing music every day?
I wouldn't say every day. I definitely try to, get up. I mean, if I'm home, I try not to burn myself out.
Mhm.
There's some times in between tours where I just don't even touch a guitar, and I find that when I eventually do come back to the guitar and sit down to write, I feel like I'm more recharged and more refreshed and both just motivationally but also creatively. So I kind of wait for that to kind of happen. If I've been on tour for 2 months or something, last thing I want to do is get home and pick up a guitar and start hacking away. I kind of let myself recharge a little bit.
So at this point in time, sometimes it's for a Keith solo record, sometimes it goes to Breaking Benjamin, sometimes it's somebody else's record. Do you know that when you write a song where it's going to go?
Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time, I kind of I have the intent and kind of intention to kind of write for a specific thing, whether it be like you said, Breaking Band or my own stuff or whatever else. There's been occasionally though that sometimes the things that I think hasn't quite been right for one, and maybe I'll revisit it for something else and make some tweaks or whatever. But no, I usually know what I'm kind of writing for ahead of time.
It's cool to see that your day job, your band, is supporting your solo career and letting you open up shows. Was that a tricky conversation to have?
Actually, no. They that kind of I don't even know. It was something where I asked them if I could do it. It was more they asked me to do it, which was pretty funny. But yeah, the support that I've gotten from my other band has been just incredible. I can't thank them enough. You'd think you always hear stories about bands not wanting any other members to kind of
Oh, yeah.
dilute dilute the product or whatever, but my music is a completely separate thing. I don't think that it affects any way, shape, or form the monster that is Breaking Benjamin, so and I think they recognize that, and even further than that, I feel like they all understand that, look, if I have success, it does nothing but just help bring more light and success to Breaking Benjamin. So it's cool that they understand that, and I understand that as well, and so it's like all what's that saying, like the rising tide, it lifts all boats or whatever, something like that.
Is
But
that why you're on Rise Records because of the rising tides? Oh,
that was a good one. Hey, yeah.
but the perspective on the whole thing. One of my favorite bands, Van Halen, basically David Lee Roth was kicked out because he wanted to do a solo thing. It does happen in some bands where they go, you're either with us or against us.
Oh yeah.
Metallica for many years had that you can't be on anyone else's album if it's not Corrosion of Conformity. They have that seeming rule going on. So it sounds like you work with wonderful people who, even if the music isn't the happiest music on the planet, everyone behind the scenes is pleased as punch to be making music for a living.
Absolutely. I think we all realize that we're just grateful to be making music as a career. And I tell everybody this, and I say it at shows as well, because even yourself, a lot of people, you're not the only person that asks me, why do solo music in the first place? Well, number one, it's a chance for me to kind of use my voice and what I want to say and what I want to write about, and some stuff that I feel passionately about that is separate from the band. It's my own kind of thing. But not only that is I want to just be able to, I want to make music as much as I can while I'm alive on this earth. And
Sure.
there's downtime with Breaking Benjamin, and I want to use that time to create and get out there and play. And it's cool. I was talking in another interview the other day, and I kind of get the best of both worlds with it, right? So it's like I go out with Breaking Ben. It's like in the bus. It's like these big tours, 18-wheeler trucks full of gear, like production, all this stuff, and then
Right.
then I get to come and do the solo stuff, and it's like a little bit different. It's like I'm in a van. The clubs are smaller, but I love it just the same. I really do, and yeah. So I kind of do that back and forth. Maybe one day the solo stuff will get up to that level where there's some more production and some a little bit bigger shows, but for the time being, I'm just enjoying the ride in both avenues.
I wouldn't say that the clubs are smaller. I would say they're more intimate and for select audiences.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean,
Exactly.
we do see this on a lot of different levels. Like take Tommy Clufetos. Is that how you say his name? Tommy Clufetos, who was filling in on the Motley Crue tour when Tommy Lee couldn't do stuff, and Rob Zombie, etc.
Yeah.
Um, what is he doing when he's not on the road with these major artists? He's playing clubs because he's out there for the love of it. When Oates was not
Yeah.
out with Hall and Oates, he's playing clubs and theaters because that's what he wants to do. When somebody
Yeah.
sees you live and it's not opening up for Breaking Benjamin, what does the set list look like? Do you have that medley of songs that you've done for the other artists?
What do you mean medley?
So when you go see Barry Manilow, because I know you talk about Manilow all the time. I know
Oh
Manilow
yeah, that's
top
that's
10
a
artists.
usual hot point for me.
Well, when you see Manilow, he does the jingles that he wrote and the hits that he wrote for everybody else. 30 seconds of American Bandstand theme and
Yeah.
30 seconds of Like a Good Neighbor, State Farm is here. He does all that to go, see, I did all this. And I think at this point in time, you could do one of those.
I don't know. I'm still waiting for Maxwell House to call me to write a jingle, but in the
Oh,
meantime,
good
I
coffee.
just I just stick to my original material, and I think at this point, not a lot of people have heard it. It doesn't have a whole lot of exposure right now. I'm hoping to change that with both being on a just amazing label like Rise, and plus
Mhm.
just getting out there in front of people to play some of these songs live. But that's really what I'm focused on, man. Just exposure, exposure, exposure. Getting my music out there, whether it be playing live, social media, the TikTok, all the stuff. That's the name of the game. I don't have any catchy jingle medleys or anything like that. So I still run across people that they don't even know that I'm making solo music. And that's kind of a disheartening kind of thing to hear. And then there's other people, I'll see comments that are just like, how do you just have this many plays? This is so amazing. And so it's just
Yeah.
that tells me that it's an exposure thing. People are liking the music, but it just got to get out there. So that's my main focus with this album, is just to get it out there and exploit it as much as I can. And honestly, I can't thank you enough for having me and help me get the name out there.
No, I've had the pleasure of seeing you, at Jones Beach in New York a few times with the big band, and then
Awesome.
interviewing Wes Cage a couple of weeks ago. So your music is out there. I think eventually when people connect all the dots, they go, okay, that's kind of like the Butch Walker of active rock.
Oh wow, that's an incredible comparison.
Well, it's a suitable one, right? Because sometimes you are the side man, sometimes you're the person in the featured big band, sometimes collaborator, and sometimes it's a solo artist. So, meaning you could play an amphitheater on Monday, a theater on Tuesday, and a club on Wednesday.
That sounds like a pretty good week, actually. Yeah, throw a little guacamole and some pizza in there, and that's the ideal week right there.
Sure. So, back to Rise Records. Did you know that this album was going to come out on Rise, or did you finish it and then shop it around?
I did know ahead of time. I think I signed with them probably, I'd say, at the end of 2022. Yeah, I'd worked with their kind of other side of the company with BMG on the publishing side, on the songwriting side. Yeah, I was just thrilled to death whenever there was an opportunity to be involved on the recording side of things. So it's been great. It's been a great partnership. I've had so much fun meeting some of the staff and just working together on this release and rollout. Uh, it's been an incredible, exciting time for me. This is the first time that I've been signed. I've worked for all these bands over the years, and I've never really kind of had that like real kind of like, oh man, I'm signing a record deal. So it's crazy that it's happening, and it's just cool. I'm so grateful.
And would have to imagine being a BMG subsidiary, it's the kind of case where you have the major label esque push, but you can turn in an album without somebody going, "Where's the single?"
No, I think there's still a little bit of that. I think that's the goal. I mean, the goal is to really try to have some hits and some to get some stuff and get some traction out there. That's always the goal. No bones about it. But I think there is a familiarity there where I've kind of worked with some of the people before. I think to me, it just makes things more comfortable. It's not just such a foreign thing. You don't walk into a boardroom and there's 10 people in suits being like, all right, what do you got? It's just much more laid back and, but at the same time, still very much important to get some good stuff out there and hopefully it sticks. So.
Well, down to the last few questions here. Softballs, because I made you talk about a lot of Manilow in this conversation here.
All
So
right.
some artists, when they finish an album, they're already thinking about the next one. Because you
Yeah.
mentioned, hey, 2022, you had signed with Rise.
Yeah.
In this case, are you already thinking about the next EP or album, or are you good for a while because you've been so prolific these past few years?
I would say absolutely. I'm already kind of starting to feel antsy about it. I think that really the next time, I mean, and the album's not even out yet. By the way, album comes out May 3rd.
Right.
Uh, but yeah,
It's old to you. It's new to us.
yeah, that's so true. It really is. And I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily say it's old to me, but I've had these songs, on a computer and listening to them for a while, and it's I don't know. I'm starting to feel antsy and thinking about, all right, what's next? I need to get some songs kind of going. So probably the next time I have a little break, I'll sit down and kind of focus on that and try to get a couple ideas in the can.
Got it. Final two questions. Number one, you're always writing music, and I have to keep reiterating that because a lot of artists come out 12 songs every 2 years, and that's it. Not your case at all. What is the hobby away from music? Do you have any dumb hobbies? For example, are you a golf person?
I love golf. I just never get to play, but I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's always a good time to get out there in the sunshine and woodland creatures beware because there's golf balls a coming. But
Carl
no, I love
Sagan.
it. I love just grilling out with some friends. I go to the beach every year with my family in Charleston, South Carolina. Always a good time. I love the beach. Love the ocean. I love to eat seafood, grilling out, all that kind of stuff, camping. I try to get out there and hang with good friends and family. So try to make time for that for sure.
Nice. And then the last question, when you're on the road for a day job, you probably relish the time you get to spend at home doing nothing, so to speak. But what's the last concert that you went to as a fan, not because you had to be there?
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I think whenever I come home, I for about a week I just lay on the couch and just recover. But then I start getting antsy. I just start thinking about work and what I need to do. But concerts, I don't go to many concerts, to be honest. I think my whole life is one big concert. So when I'm
Yeah.
home, I'm really not looking to get out there into a show too often. But I just got through with this cruise called Shiprocked, uh,
Oh,
where I was a performer, and there's so many great bands on this cruise, and you can play your shows and kind of keep to yourself and kind of just stay in your room if you want, or you can just really set your watch and your schedule, and you can find the other bands and their other performances on the boat. And one of the bands that I was really excited to see was Dayseeker. I've been a big fan of them since their album came out. Uh, Met the singer Rory, all the other guys in the band. They were super nice. Their producer Dan Bronstein, I wrote a song with him for my album Infinity Now, and we kind of talked about working with him. Just an amazing producer. Also produced Spirit Box, another Rise band, and just killing it. And but I've been a fan of them, and I got a chance to see them live and kind of talk with Rory, and it was just so cool, man. It's just super cool dudes, incredible band, incredible vocalist, and it was really neat to kind of be on that ship with them and be able to watch them just kind of, I don't know, I really got to experience their show, and yeah, like I said, big fan, and it was awesome. So yeah, that was probably the last time where, and it just happened to be this past week. So as a opportune question for you to ask, you caught me.
it sounds like the Shiprocked cruise situation networks you. You get the grilled meats, you get the beach because you stop into the port. It sounds like more cruises have to happen for you in the near future because it's also the family's covered for the vacation too.
Exactly. You're kind of hitting all the birds with that stone, for sure.
Exactly.
It's so fun, man. If you've never done it, I really I recommend it. If you get a chance, and Shiprocked especially, it's a good one. It's just an amazing community and a real family on that boat, and all those guys that put that together. I mean, they've got such a hard job to schedule all the bands and all the things and the excursions and everything else. And man, they just really do a great job year after year. So can't recommend it enough.
Well, speaking of great jobs, congrats to you on this new record. Hope to see you on a shed tour very soon
Thank
back
you.
at Jones Beach. And thank you for the many years of great music, Keith.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to come back to Jones Beach. That's one of my favorite venues. If you can dodge the seagull droppings, it's a great, it's a great place. So I've been lucky for the last 4 or 5 times, but yes, man. Once again, thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to the next time, and hope to see you out there. Paltrocast.